Hello and welcome to my Tarot Corner. So just in time for Halloween, I received my two of the three Season of the Witch oracles that I ordered from Book Depository. They were on sale, so I just bought all three. This is the SAMAHIN oracle, and we are right now in SAMAHIN, and that reminds me that every change of season, Llewellyn side does a big sale, usually 30% off all of the orders, even if you make pre-orders of decks that haven't reached the store yet. So it's really nice to have the possibility, and if you're in the US and you order over $30, you get free shippings, which is great. So anyway, I am now going to do a reading about the Counselor of the States. And since we are talking about witches, I am using the Witchling Academy Tarot. Because I'm going to look into King Charles' decision about the Counselors of State. And it looks to me like King Charles has a lot to learn about being assertive and making decisions. It looks like King Charles is really trying to defer all decisions regarding both Prince Andrew and Prince Harry. And I suppose that if Prince Harry was not in the picture, he would have gotten decisions about Prince Andrew a lot easier. But he knows that if he strips Prince Andrew of his titles, then he will have to do the same with Harry. The people of Sussex, who are not very happy when that Harry and Meghan represent them, will not shut up if the people of York do get what they ask for. So I believe that this is a way of stalling, of trying to appease everyone, and I'm going to look into whether or not it's the right thing to do. Is it the right thing for King Charles to do? You know, instead of taking Prince Andrew and Prince Harry out of the Counselors of State list, just adding Princess Anne and Prince Edward. Now, Princess Kate cannot be a Counselor of State as long as she's not married to the monarch, because there are two main things that a Counselor of State needs to be. The first is to be stationed or have some kind of a station in the UK. And the second is that you are on the line of succession and you are capable of becoming a monarch. Now, Prince Andrew retired, so he is not, although he might be still in the line of succession, he is unable to become a monarch. Princess Kate, of course, is not in the line of succession, so she's unable to become a monarch. And Prince Harry doesn't really have a UK base, although he probably still rents Frogmore, so it could be said that he has a base in the UK, but that is really not true. I mean, it's just a way of trying to cover people's eyes and let them believe that he is still eligible. So I think that the fact that that King Charles decided not to strip Harry and Andrew and not take them out of the Counselor of State list is a mistake. But I'm going to check. As I've said many times, I believe that King Charles needs to differentiate between the Harkles and their shenanigans and stripping the titles and taking them out of the order of things, because this should not look like a punishment. It should look like a logical decision. And as long as he's waiting, it would look more and more like a revenge if he does decide to do that. And this is one thing that he doesn't need. He doesn't need to be seen as the vengeful king. But I keep saying that and nothing happens. So as Bookworm 2 today said in a very angry video, you can say, you can do a lot of things, but in the end, it's not up to us. So this is the first question. And the second question is about Princess Beatrice, that already said that she doesn't want to become a counselor of state. As I understand, she can, because she is in the line of succession, but she's not a working royal. She has her own career. Princess Eugenie herself did not say anything. Bookworm 2 believes that if offered, she will decline it as well. But I understand that so many people suggested that Princess Beatrice would be counselor of state, that she found it imperative to come out and say that she doesn't want the job. So let's start with clearing the deck. Okay, so is deciding not to take Harry and Andrew out of the line of Counselor of State a wise decision for King Charles? Is that a good decision for King Charles to decide to add more Counselor of States instead of taking Harry and Andrew out of that list? So what is the right thing for King Charles to do, and is it a good decision? Okay, so this is an SOS reading, and actually yesterday in my Master's Tarot course I learned a new reading called Sliding Doors, which is great for making decisions because you are looking into each of the options and the outcome of each option. But I still have to get more acquainted with this reading before I start using it. So I'm doing the single SOS card, 3-card reading, and the answer is in the middle, and we get the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is exactly the reason why King Charles decided to do that. Now, as I remind you, in yes or no questions, the answer is that when we get a court card, it is a yes answer. So it's probably yes, the right thing for him to do. I must admit that I did not think so, but the explanation for that is that the King of Swords is a person that is a pacifier, someone who needs an equilibrium, someone who tries to be okay with everyone. This is exactly what King Charles is doing. He is trying not to upset not Prince Harry, not Prince Andrew. He is really trying to appease everyone. And this is a card of someone who really feels the need to be okay with the world. And this is someone who's also very much about family, about relationships. So this is why he decided not to take them out. And apparently, according to this reading, it is the right decision. Now let's see what the cards on the side tell us. And here we get the 10 of Cups, which is a supporting card for the for the King of Swords. So this is a card that actually takes out all of the good attributes of the King of Swords, and all of the negative attributes, unless we get here a very bad card, will stay under the radar. The Ten of Cups is a card of wishes coming true, but it also is a card of a family, a happy family. This is about abundance. This is about children. This is about not degrading your happiness and your abundance. So this is a very good card that speaks about successful partnership, successful endeavors. And this card is supporting the King of Swords. So this is only supporting the answer that, yeah, it is a good decision for him. And on the other side, we get the Queen of Wands. So if we're asking why, because of the Queen of Wands. And as you can see, the Queen of Wands is looking towards the King, and the King is looking like, as you can see here, is swords is towards the cups, but his eyes are like rolled backwards. So he's rolling up his eyes in a way, thinking about the Queen of Wands, who is the egotistical queen. This is Meghan. She is the one that will come after him if he decides to do something like taking Harry out. She's the one that is very much about herself, about her own performance in front of an audience, someone who thinks especially about herself and about her king, but especially about herself. Her husband could be there. So for her, it's mostly that she thinks that taking jobs or appointments, more appointments from Harry is only taking more and more clout from her. And we know that now King Charles took over the Royal Marines appointment to be the head of the Royal Marines, a job that used to be Harry's. And this is like closing a door in his face, so letting him know that this is something that he will not be able to take back. So as a compromise, and in order not to get the Queen of Wands too worked up against him, he decided to try and appease everyone by not taking Harry and Andrew out of this altogether. So this is probably why he's stalling the decision of the titles as well. But I believe that if he doesn't take off the titles before the book and the documentary airs, he will probably delay that until after the coronation. This is my feeling about that, but I can check, but not in this reading, because in this reading I want to check the reasons of why Beatrice said in very specific words that she does not want to be a counselor of state. Why did she reject that appointment? So I'm just doing another shuffle and clearing the deck again. And this is not a yes or no question, so I will take 3 cards and then the underlying energy, and if I need more information, then the middle card as well. So let's start with clearing the deck. Okay, so why did Beatrice made it clear that she doesn't want to be a counselor of state? Why did she refuse the possibility of becoming a counselor of state? What does she feel about that? Is it because of her disdain from King Charles? Is it because of her own family and her own career? So what are the reasons that Beatrice decided not to become counselor of state. Okay. So I'm cutting this to 3, and I will take out 3 cards. And once again, because this is not an SOS reading, I am cutting it into 3 and not just once. So the first card is the Star. Now the Star is a card that has 2 sides, as I say many times. It is actually a very naive card. It's a card of naivety. It's a card of warm feelings. I believe that the main thing here is her feelings towards her husband, towards her child, and her wish to be with her family and not to dwell into the royal things. She doesn't want that responsibility over her. But this card also has the side of the Pandora box, the secrets that may come out. And I believe that she doesn't want to be in a position that compromises things that might come out about her father, about her mother, about herself, about her relationship with her husband, her husband's relationship with his ex. She knows that if she gets into the royal fold, she will be in the spotlight, she will be under scrutiny of the media. She doesn't want that. So those are 2 attributes of the Star card that are working here. The second card is the 4 of Cups. Now, the 4 of Cups is a card of doubts. And this is a card that shows that that Princess Beatrice is actually very doubtful. She doesn't love King Charles. She is full of doubts about his being a monarch. She's not one of his supporters. And this card only shows that she is feeling loss of faith. She's feeling that she's listening maybe to false rumors. She's full of doubts about the possibility of becoming a counselor of state. And this card actually shows that she's listening to the wrong advice. So this could be, maybe the decision is not the wrong decision to make, but the reasons and the fact that she's doubting King Charles, that she's not feeling very supportive of King Charles, these are things that are not the right things to feel or to think. And this is a card of someone who follows the wrong things, someone who listens to gossip with malice, someone who listens to the wrong advice. So this is one of the reasons that she doesn't want to become a counselor of state in King Charles' tenure. Now, the last card is the Moon card. Oh, God. So we have a lot of water here. Just pay attention to how much water we have here. Because the Star card is a card full of water. The 4 of Cups, of course, is a lot of water. And the Moon card is the Mother card. And it is also a card that is full of water in the Rider-Waite tarot. But it's also a card of someone who is really mentally unstable, someone who is needs mental health therapy. This is not an easy card. This is a card of someone who can do things that are connected to therapy, to be a therapist. But when we're talking about career in things like being in the royal family, this card shows us that this is not a good thing for her. Now, this card also, because it's the Mother card, throws me towards the doubts that are connected to her mother as well. And the Pandora box, that it is connected to things that might come out about her mother. So I think that this is the most important thing for her, that her mother doesn't get hurt from everything that is going around in the royal family. And right now, for example, there are the people that are trying to say that Sarah participated and counseled the crown, which is not true. So she's afraid of her mother getting hurt, and this is part of the reasons that she doesn't want that. Okay, so let's see what the underlying energy is. And the underlying energy is the Nine of Cups. So she wants her wishes to come true. She wants to have the abundance, to have happy family. So for her, this is the main thing that is important for her. A happy family, having abundance, having a good career, thinking about mostly her own wishes and having her own wishes coming true, and being a counselor of state is not part of that. So if she wants this to happen, she has to let go of that possibility of becoming a counselor of state. Now, it is interesting that we haven't heard anything from Eugenie yet. I'm quite positive that Eugenie will not want to become a counselor of state as well, but she didn't say anything, maybe because she wasn't pitched on becoming a counselor of state. So I'm going to use the Season of the Witch, the SAMAHIN edition, and this is advice for King Charles on how to deal with the rogues in the royal family in the future. So what can we look into? This is advice for King Charles. So I'm just clearing the deck. And let's take a card, and then I'll go and open the door for Rosie, who is out. So I'm just putting it here. Okay, so the rebirth card speaks about death that is in all that awakens. And we know that right now, the fact that King Charles is on the throne is because of the death of his mother. So for it isn't blissful or painless, it's a mighty rising, O flame resurrected. This is a card that just speaks about the painful experience of losing a mother, and then the need to step into her shoes. The minute that she died, King Charles had to become king the minute she died. So this card is about awakening. This is about resurrection. And this card is telling King Charles that although this is not an easy time for him, it shows that this is a transformation time for him. He needs to fit into the new life. And so this card is telling King Charles that he needs to re-embark on a voyage into the world, to begin the process of starting anew, not hide his light, not be afraid to let himself be seen as a powerful king. So this card is telling King Charles, you need to grab the power, grab what you are given, grab this opportunity for you to try and start rehabilitating whatever was wrong in the royal family. So this is a very, very powerful card for King Charles, because it actually describes very well what he has gone through, and it tells him that he needs to step into his power. So this is it for this reading. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.